Hello everyone, welcome back to Tomcat's Stitchery. I'm Whitney and today we are talking about my favorite sweatshirt pattern, the Stanton from Cashmerette, all of the different options. I've got a couple of sew-alongs that just went up. The eagle eye among you will notice that. So we want to talk about all things Stanton. It is one of my TNT or my tried and true patterns that I am going to go through all things Stanton with you guys today. Before we get into that though, today is Friday, which means we do have a Love Notions Feature Friday pattern, and it's another great sweatshirt pattern. It is the Stanton, or sorry, not the Stanton, the Sloan. We're talking about the Stanton today. It is the Sloan, and it is $6 today only. It has a few different variations there. It's been in the catalog for a little bit, just kind of your standard sweatshirt pattern, and it is $6 today only, and then my code SEWTKS10 will get you an additional 10% off that sale price. So if you're wanting a good pattern, maybe to embroider or to put an applique on or to somehow personalize for even Christmas gifts, now is a great time to grab that one. Okay, let's get into all things Cashmerette Stanton. So the Cashmerette Stanton, let's talk a little bit about the pattern. I just was kind of counting it up before I came down here. I mean, I've got quite a few to show you today, but there are quite a, like 4 or 5 that I've made that I just no longer have. 2 of which I know went to my sister. 1 I think might be at school with my daughter. And then 2 of which, because it's missing and I don't really know where it is. And then the other 2 are 2 that I've made for my daughter that she just outgrew and we donated. So I think there's 5 here that are missing. And if that's the case, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've made this pattern 12 times. Is that right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, 12 times. 12 times. So it is definitely a tried and true pattern for me, and I absolutely love it. Now, why do I love it so much? I am a somewhat casual dresser. I don't want to be like super casual, but I am someone that, I work from home, so I'm not going into an office type scenario. My office, you're looking at part of my office right here as I am filming. So I'm able to wear things that are a little bit cozier. I love a good sweatshirt. I love using sweatshirts as layering pieces. I love wearing them, using them as kind of sweaters, as jackets. I really love a good sweatshirt. Whether I am pairing it with maybe a knit pair of pants or a pair of jeans, many different ways that I like to wear a good sweatshirt. So I enjoy a good sweatshirt pattern. Number 2, the reason I love the Stanton is because it is made for cup sizes. So the Stanton comes in the full Cashmerette size range, which is a size 0 up to a size 32, and in their entire cup size range, which ranges from cup size C all the way through H. So it is meant for large busts. So you don't get the standing from the side and, your shirt's a lot shorter in the front because it takes so much to go over your butt. Sorry, I'm probably also hitting my microphone, which, by the way, how are you guys liking this? I think I've troubleshooted the microphone to where I know we were having some issues there the first couple of times I was using it. I think I've troubleshooted it, but that I probably just cursed it. So let me know. And if I hit it, I really apologize. But when you've got a large bust, it makes a lot of times the front of your shirts much higher than hem-wise than the back. You don't have that with this, because that's built in. You get some nice shaping, so this isn't like standing off of my curves in all of the ways that I don't want it to, and I find it to be a very flattering ending length. It hits about mid-hip. So the pattern features an optional pocket in the front. I don't have it on this one. This is a Stanton that I'm wearing, but it features you can see the pocket on these, a front like hoodie pocket. It's got an option for just a pull over with the hood, or a fully zipped version. So this one is one of the ones that's got the zipper that goes all the way up the front, also has the pockets on it, which is lovely, a little bit of an option there. It's got yokes. It has got quite a few different seams, which I think they all have shaping in them, which helps to take a sweatshirt pattern and make it look really good, I think, on the body. But again, the yokes, and then it's got the seams that match there in the back. And then it uses either same fabric or ribbing for the bottom as well as the cuffs. The hood is fully lined, as is the front pocket is fully lined. So this pattern, God, this is one of their older patterns. It was released, I mean, quite a while, long enough for me to make 12 of them. So it was released quite a while ago. Again, I absolutely love it, but it's been around. And then when Cashmerette opened their club patterns, and I became a member right at the beginning. So I'm an all access tier member now. In the beginning, I was just the very bottom tier. But I started at the beginning. So I got all of the different patterns as they came out each month. I am now, which I pay for my own money, an all access tier. I just love all the things that they have available there at that all access tier, because it's so much more than just a pattern each month. Anyway, gosh, maybe 2 years ago now, they released a Stanton expansion pattern. So the Stanton regular old hoodie pattern that comes with the versions of the zip up the front or just the regular pull over, you can buy from the regular collection. However, if you are an all access tier member, you actually get the original pattern included, and then they have an expansion pattern, which includes the option for turning your hoodie into a dress, or for, instead of the hood, to do a stand-up collar option. So it's taking the pattern and making it even more. So some hacks, if you will. But it's got this little half zip here. That's right here. Okay, the pattern is meant for heavier weight knits. So your sweatshirting fleece, your French terries, your pontes all work really, really great for this pattern. You do want to make sure you've got 15% stretch at least. And then the option for using cuffing. I'm trying to think, I may have cuffing on all of my versions here. Like ribbing. I think I do. Again, if your fabric has enough stretch to it, you could use same fabric for those bottom bands or for the cuffs. You just want to make sure that it does have enough stretch and recovery. But the pattern does suggest using ribbing. Rib knit is not the same as ribbing. So rib knit is a knit that just has ribs in it. Ribbing is usually a heftier fabric. It's usually much narrower. Sometimes it's tubular, not always, but sometimes it is, which works great as what you would consider like a cuff for a bomber jacket or for a sweatshirt, or for the bottom band on a sweatshirt. So there are some really great options. StyleMaker has a lot of French terry and sweatshirting fleece that has matching ribbing. I will leave that link down below if you're interested in something like that, but have not been able to find something like that. So that is kind of what the fabric is intended. And then you use a jersey weight fabric for the lining of the hood. However, I have used same fabric for the lining of my hood on a few of these options. This has just a jersey fabric. It's the lining of the hood, as well as that front pocket. The hood versions have the option of doing a grommet with your drawstring. You don't have to put anything on there if you just want the hood as is. If you don't even want the drawstring, you can just make a regular hood, or you could use a buttonhole there instead to pull your drawstring through. Absolutely up to you on what details and stuff that you would like to put into your pattern. It's just a really great one. All right, so that's kind of the pattern in a nutshell. So let's talk a little bit about some of my versions, and we'll talk a little bit more about some of the hacks that you can do to kind of create and make a really a tried and true pattern, a TNT pattern, which is, this is what it is for me. Now, for all of my versions, which are this one, this one, this one, and this one, I've made the size 10 with the GH cup. This one is Jenny's. This one is Jenny's, and they are a size 10 with the CD cup, and we've added an inch to the sleeves and to the body for Jenny. I have taken an inch away from the body for all of mine, but I leave the sleeves as is. I've got a very short torso. I'm only 5'2". I actually just was at a speaking engagement this past weekend, and someone told me, "You're a lot smaller, or like a lot smaller or shorter, like in person, than I thought you'd be." And I'm like, yeah, I think the camera, can throw you. Without a reference of height there, yeah, I could totally see where it could throw you. But yes, I'm only 5'2". So keeping that in mind. And then this version here is for my daughter, and it is a size 6 with a GH cup. So that is the size, and I didn't shorten anything on this for her. I left everything as is for her. She's got a little bit longer torso. So that's kind of the sizes that we have chosen for us and for all of these. It's funny that Jenny and I are the same size, just with a little bit of tweaks. So she does a CD cup, I do the GH. She lengthens, I shorten. I always find that funny when the sizes kind of line up like that. All right, so let's talk a little bit about each of these versions. So like I mentioned at the beginning, I have got 2 sew-alongs that are now up on the channel. One for the original Stanton, so I hold your hand through sewing the regular hoodie version, as well as, in fact, these are the 2 that are I sew up in the class, as well as the zip-up version. And then there is also a Stanton Hoodie expansion sew-along where I show you how to sew up this dress, as it's the dress, but as well as the funnel neck version with the little quarter zip. So I'm holding your hand through the entire thing. Fabrication, I have used French terry. French terry, this is a See You at 6 French terry. StyleMaker does carry a lot of the See You at 6 French terries, both prints and solids that have the matching ribbing. The See You at 6 French terry is delightful. It is really lovely. This is also a See You at 6 French terry. This is a sweatshirting fleece that came from StyleMaker Fabrics, like as a dead stock, like it came from them years ago. And this is actually some See You at 6 ribbing that I just had left over from a different project. And then I used a rayon spandex from jersey from my stash to line the hood there. I have a feeling she's going to do maybe some artwork or something on this. We'll wait and see what she decides to do. This here is a sweatshirting that Jenny just picked up, and we turned this into a beautiful Stanton for her that we used pre-bought ribbing on here. So the ribbing on the cuffs and on the bottom of this version don't fold over on itself like the pattern calls for, because the ribbing is already pre-made. So I just sewed the seam allowances down and pressed them open and then stitched them so that they would stay stitched. I did go ahead and serge the raw edges before I sewed them together, right sides together, and pressed them open. You wouldn't have to, because this doesn't ravel, but I just wanted that look. So that is an option for some of that cool pre-packaged cuffing that you can see, that you see places. Anyway, we did use that on this version for her. This is a cotton French or sweatshirting fleece from Minerva, and I've got the matching ribbing that came from there, although I don't think they have this ribbing anymore. This is an old one, an old version that I made, although I love it. It's a really nice warm red, and it's really fun to wear to the gym, so I really love this version. This is a cotton, a French terry that came from my stash. I think I actually got from StyleMaker Fabrics, and then this is a See You at 6 ribbing that I had from a different project as well. Oh, there was another one that I made that my sister actually has as well. I have a dark green one that I made sweatshirt style like this that my sister has, because it was more her color than it was mine. We did some swaps of things that she had in my color palette and things that I had in her color palette, and that's one of the ones that she actually took. But that's what this is left over. So 13, I've made 13 of these. And then I used some scraps of cotton spandex jersey for the lining there of that hood. All right, some tips and tricks. Well, let's talk about hacks first. So again, you get the expansion pattern. You can add the funnel neck onto the regular body, so omit the hood and add that funnel neck on. You can turn the hooded version into the dress. So it gives you some options of different types of Stantons that you can make. Or if you want to make it a regular sweatshirt, it is very easy. You simply don't add the hood. And all I did was I measured the neckline of my pattern, and then I think I noted down what it was at some point so I could easily make this again. I cut a piece of ribbing, the same ribbing that I used for my cuffs and my bottom, 2 inches wide, and then the circumference of my neckline minus 15%. So the length of my ribbing is 85% of the entire neckline circumference. So just find that number, times it by 0.85, and that's the length that you want of your ribbing to be, because we want it to stretch in order to sew that in. And then I just sewed it in, quartered off my neckline, sewed in that neckband, and it makes a really lovely plain sweatshirt. Again, I've made this type of sweatshirt twice. My sister has one of those. I have made a stand-up funnel neck short version. My sister has that one. It was more in her blue. And then another CUX6 dress that has the hood on it that my sister also has. So anyway, that is, and again, I've got a couple, one, my white that has like a floral and stuff on it. My daughter must have it because I don't know, it's not in my sweatshirt drawer. I don't know where else that would be. Anyway, and then a couple of versions for my daughter that I no longer have because she outgrew those. But some tips and tricks for this. Now, when I was doing the sew along, I did use a stretch thread. So I used the, Seraflex. So Madeira thread has the Seraflex thread, which is a stretchy thread. Coats & Clark has a stretchy thread. The Gutermann has the Maraflex, although it's hard to find here in the US. You can sometimes find a little bit on Amazon because I normally use Gutermann thread for everything, but I did go with the Seraflex. I was able to find that a little bit easier, which again is the Madeira, I think. Or maybe it's Metler. It's the Metler thread. I'm sorry, it's the Metler thread is the Seraflex. Anyway, it is just like regular thread, but it has a little bit of extra stretch. So if you are sewing knits on a sewing machine and you don't want to use a straight stitch, it works out great. This entire pattern can be made completely on the sewing machine, and that's what I do in the sew along. I did finish off my seam allowances with my serger, but you don't have to. You can use a zigzag or a faux overlock on your machine, or because we're using knit fabrics that don't tend to unravel, you can absolutely leave those seam allowances alone. But all the straight stitches on this are nice and stretchy because I use that stretch thread. I also use a walking foot. If you don't have dual feet on your machine, use a walking foot. Any sewing machine can have a generic walking foot that comes with it. And my trick for drawstrings is shoelaces. So this is I think they're 54-inch long or 56, I can't remember. I just get them from Amazon, but it comes in a package of 2 sets of shoelaces, so you get 4 shoelaces. And I like to buy them in fun, bright colors because I think it's a lot of fun to have a bright pop of color there at your neckline there at the front. So anyway, it is so much easier because they're finished already at the end. So you don't have to worry about, you know, finding the little, I mean, you could find the little stopper, like a cord stopper to put at the end. And there's some cute ones I'm sure that you can find. But if you want easy, shoestrings. I use these for drawstrings on pants as well. It's a game changer. And I think I've used shoelaces on all these. I do not have drawstrings yet in this one for Jenny. This is the one I finished most recently because I was waiting. She was going to use maybe something kind of unexpected for her drawstring. So you'll have to wait and see what happens with the drawstring on that. But the rest of these, that doesn't have drawstrings. The rest of these all have shoelaces as drawstrings. So highly recommend that as a little bit of a cheat. I have used grommets on all of the necklines for all of these. I hammered the grommets in on these 2 versions because they're old enough. I used my little press though on these 3. So it is fantastic. And again, but you could do a buttonhole. If the grommets scare you, you can absolutely do a buttonhole or an eyelet stitch on your machine for that area for the drawstring to go through. All right, guys, I think that's all I can tell you about the Stanton. It is a fantastic pattern. Again, I've got 2 sew-alongs that just went out on the channel that will hold your hand through sewing both of these. Give it a try if you're also someone that's busty or not. Jenny's not busty, and she is loving her versions. It's just got a really beautiful shaping for a sweatshirt pattern, and one that, again, I clearly love. I've made 13 of them. So I hope this was informative, and you will give this a try as well. Get some sewing in, and until next time, happy sewing. I'll see y'all soon.